Alright, so to start with this lesson on the reproductive system, let's have this introduction to the lesson. Ayan, so the ability to reproduce is one of the major characteristics of all living things, no? That makes us different from non-living kasi mga non-living, they have no ability to reproduce. And there are two types of reproduction. So first, we have sexual. In sexual reproduction, you have the production of offspring that are genetically different, no, from their parents. And we have asexual reproduction, in which the offsprings are genetically identical. Now, one good example of this would be binary fission, wherein binary fission occurs in single-celled organisms like bacteria and protozoans. Okay? But our focus is obviously sexual reproduction. So sexual reproduction involves the production of new individuals that are produced by the fusion of haploid gametes. So I guess you know the term haploid, wherein the cell contains only half the number of chromosomes, no, through meiosis. Alright, and when these two haploid gametes unite, they form a diploid cell, no, which is known as a zygote. Alright, so for the male produces sperm. Yun yung pinaka-gamete niya. The male gamete is the sperm, while the female gamete is the ova. Ayan, no? Okay, so sperm are the male gametes and the ova or ovum are the female gametes. And these two gametes, the sperm and the egg, unite through fertilization. Okay, fertilization is the union or the fusion of these two gametes, sperm and egg, no, producing the zygote. The zygote is the fertilized egg. Alright, let us now go into the details of the reproductive system of both male and female. So let's start with the male reproductive system. So first, let's mention the function of the male reproductive organs. The purpose or the function of the male reproductive organs is to perform the following. Okay, to produce, number one, to produce, maintain, and transport sperm to the female reproductive organ. So to produce, maintain the sperm until it fertilizes the egg of the female, and the transport of the sperm towards the female reproductive organ. And this will involve the male reproductive cells and the protective fluid, which is the semen. So to discharge sperm within, this is the second function, no? So the first function is to produce, maintain, and transport sperm. The second function is to discharge sperm within the female reproductive tract during the sexual act. Ayan, so I guess that's obvious, to discharge the sperm during sexual activity. Okay, number three, function of the male reproductive organs is to produce and secrete the male sex hormones like testosterone, responsible for maintaining the male reproductive system. Okay, unlike the female reproductive system, most of the male reproductive system is located outside of the body, right? These external structures includes the following: the penis. Number two, we have the scrotum, the testicles. Ayan, yung mga external structures sa male. Alright, first let's take the penis. So this is the male organ that is vital in the sexual act, no, or sexual intercourse. And there are three parts of the penis. So we have the root, which attaches to the wall of the abdomen. We have the body or the shaft, and we have the glans penis or glans, which is the cone-shaped part at the end of the penis. Ayan, so if you will take a look at this, so ito yung root nandito, so it attaches the organ to the abdomen. Then we have the shaft of the penis. And ito yung glans penis, which is the conical structure right at the end of the penis. Ayan, no? So root, shaft, and glans penis. The glans penis, the glans, also called the head of the penis, is covered with a loose layer of skin called foreskin. So sa mga hindi tuli, ito yung nakikita, di ba? Ito yung tinatanggal yung foreskin. Pag may foreskin, hindi ka pa tuli, di ba? Kaya tinatanggal to pa. Ibig sabihin, tuli ka na, no? Alright, this skin is sometimes removed, no? In a procedure called circumcision, yung pagpapatuli. Right? Pero ito kasing circumcision may may religious implication, di ba? Especially for Catholics. Ayan, circumcision. Yan kasi may mga religion kasi na na kailangan talaga magpatuli, di ba? Parang gano'n. All right, so moving on. Ayan, no? So yun yung foreskin na sinasabi. Okay, the opening of the urethra, yung tube na yan na nakakonekta sa urinary bladder. Ayan, that transports semen and urine is at the tip of the penis. Ayan, the opening of the urethra sa glans penis. That's the tube that transports semen and urine is at the tip of the penis. Alright, the glans penis of also contains a number of sensitive nerve endings. Yan yung tip ng penis. So may mga nerve endings yan that makes it really sensitive, especially during the sexual act. Alright? Okay, the body of the penis is cylindrical in shape and consists of 3 circular shaped chambers. These chambers are made up of special sponge-like tissue. And so, kung makikita niyo dito sa diagram natin, no, ito yung yung spongy urethra and yung corpus spongiosum or spongiosum. Ayan, so ito yung mga circular shaped chambers and made up of special sponge-like tissue. Okay, the tissue contains thousands of large spaces that fill with blood. Ayan, parang balloon. So, during the sexual act, pag na-arouse yung lalaki, blood flows in, no, and will literally inflate those large spaces or yung mga chambers. Alright, and as the penis fills with blood, it becomes rigid and erect. And so take note of that tissue. That's corpus spongiosum. Yan, so marami ang chambers dito. Ito, and the corpora cavernosa. Yan yung mga chambers na yan. Okay, then when the male is aroused, itong mga chambers na ito is filled with blood. And that will make the penis become rigid and erect. Ayan, yan. So corpus spongiosum, corpora cavernosa. Ito yung mga chambers, no, yung cavernosa. Ayan, no. So napupuno yan ng blood, making the shaft of the penis rigid and erect. Okay, the scrotum on the other hand, this is the loose pouch like sac. Ito, no. Ito yung so dyan nakalagay yung testicle, no? So pouch-like sac that hangs behind and below the penis. Yan. So like what I mentioned earlier, it contains the testicles. Also called testes, as well as nerves and blood vessels. Okay, also the scrotum acts like a climate control system for the testes. Now, bakit climate control system? For normal sperm development, the testes must be at a temperature that is slightly cooler than body temperature. So, ibig sabihin nito, sperm development or spermatogenesis needs a lower temperature. Kaya hiwalay siya sa abdomen, no? Kasi pag humiwalay ka sa abdomen, medyo magda-drop konti yung temperature, na which is conducive for spermatogenesis or normal sperm development. So, kailangan ng lower temperature. Okay, so, special muscles in the wall of the scrotum allow it to contract and relax. Okay, moving the testicles closer to the body for warmth or farther away from the body to cool the temperature. Yan, no? So, may mga special muscles sa scrotum na nagko-contract para ilapit konti yung testicles sa abdomen para uminit or ilayo yung testicles para lumamig naman. Alright, so yan yung function ng scrotum as a climate control system for the testes. And then we have the testicles or the testes. These are the oval organs about the size of large olives that lie in the scrotum. And the testes are responsible for making testosterone. And take note of the hormone, testosterone. Okay, the primary male sex hormone, and for generating sperm. And inside the testicles are the seminiferous tubules. Yan yung white. Yung white na yan. So the seminiferous tubules are inside each testis where sperms are produced by meiosis. About 250 meters of tubules are packed into each testis. Yan, ito, no? So, yung puti na ito na convoluted tubules, those are the seminiferous tubules, and doon ginagawa ang sperm through spermatogenesis, meiosis. Ayan, so we have here, ito yung mga seminiferous tubules, ito yung mga developing sperm. Ayan, through spermatogenesis. Then we have the epididymis. The epididymis or epididymis is the long coiled tube. Yan, ito. Yung yellow. No? Long coiled tube that rests on the back side of each testicle. Ang function ng epididymis is to transport and store the sperm that are produced in the seminiferous tubules. So, pag medyo develop na yung sperm, dito sila pupunta sa epididymis. Yan, para nandun muna yung naka-standby yung mga sperm cells dyan. Alright, so yun ang function ng epididymis or epididymis. Then we have the vas deferens. Ito, yan, itong mahabang tube na ito. Alright, the vas deferens is a long muscular tube that transports mature sperm to the urethra, ayan, no, sa male penis in preparation for ejaculation. Ayan, no? Okay, so let us now, so may mga sperm cell na tayo, no, mga sperm cells. So let us now trace the journey of the sperm cells. So let's go to mga sperm cells na to. Ayan, so sa ngayon pupunta yung mga sperm cells. So i-trace natin yung kanilang yung kanilang journey. So na-develop sila sa seminiferous tubules ng testes, di ba? Then saan pupunta ngayon yan? From the seminiferous tubules ng testes, pupunta yan sa epididymis, di ba? No? Or epididymis where the sperm cells are stored. Naka-standby sila dyan. Then, at the onset of the sexual act, from the epididymis or epididymis, yung mga sperm cells pupunta sa vas deferens. Alright? Then, from the vas deferens, pupunta yan saan? Sa may ejaculatory duct. Now, from here, may role din yung seminal vesicles. So, nasan yung mga seminal vesicles and ano yung kanyang connection in the reproduction sa ng sperm. Okay, the seminal vesicles produces a sugar-rich fluid, no? Fructose. So, para saan itong sugar-rich fluid na ito? So, itong sugar-rich fluid na ito yung parang pabaon sa mga sperm cells. Diba? Kasi mahaba yung kanilang lalakbayin papunta sa egg cell ng babae. So, kailangan nila ng konting pagkain or baon, di ba? So, itong seminal vesicles na ito, they produce this sugar-rich fluid para ma-nourish naman yung mga sperm cells para may baon sila on their journey to the egg cell of the female. Ayan, no? So, yan yung function ng mga seminal vesicles. Alright? Okay, then also, we have the function of the prostate gland. Yan papunta sa ejaculatory duct, connected yan lahat. Ano yung role ng prostate gland? Yung secretion niya pupunta din sa ejaculatory duct. Alright? So ang prostate gland basically secretes a milky alkaline fluid. So para saan itong alkaline fluid na ito na sinisecrete ng prostate gland? Remember that the vaginal wall is acidic. So pag pasok pa lang ng mga sperm cells sa vagina, meron ng mga obstacles na tatahakin, and one of them would be the acidity of the vaginal wall. And marami ang mamamatay na na sperm. Okay, para mabawasan naman yung mortality rate ng sperm. Para konti lang yung mga mamamatay, para maging successful yung fertilization, dapat ma-neutralize yung acidity ng vaginal wall. And that is the function of that alkaline fluid that is produced by the prostate gland. Okay, this alkaline fluid will neutralize in a way the acidity of the vaginal wall that will make the environment of the vagina at least tolerable, I think that's the right word, tolerable for the sperm to continue their journey papunta sa fallopian tube, kasi doon sila pupunta eh. Nandun yung egg, naghihintay yung egg doon. Nandun sa fallopian tube. So yun ang function ng prostate gland. The prostate gland secretes that milky alkaline fluid, okay, to neutralize the acidity of the vaginal wall. Alright, also we have the role of the Cowper's gland. Okay, ano yung lahat ng mga yung secretions na mga yan, doon pupunta sa ejaculatory duct. Alright, ano ang function ng Cowper's gland? So the Cowper's gland secretes a mucus-like fluid. Siguro ang mucus, so malapot ito, this is siguro for lubrication, no? Para sa penis during the sexual act. Now, this will add to the lubrication of the penis. Alright? Yan. So, the Cowper's gland secretes that mucus-like fluid. Alright? So, from the ejaculatory duct, lahat yan yung mga secretions ng seminal vesicles, ng prostate gland, ng Cowper's gland, konektado yan lahat sa ejaculatory duct. Doon lahat pupunta. Then from the ejaculatory duct, the secretion, which we now call as semen, will enter the urethra, and semen is ejaculated out, no? Papunta sa female vagina during the sexual act. Alright? Ayan, so that's only half of the journey of the sperm cell. Okay, so let us now study the female reproductive organs. So, the female reproductive system is designed to carry out several functions. So, number one, the female reproductive organs produces the female egg cells necessary for reproduction. Okay, especially yung egg or the ova. Okay, the system is designed to transport the ova to the site of fertilization. Nasaan ba yung site of fertilization? Nasa fallopian tube. Ayan, no? Okay, so ito yung may mga bilog-bilog na yan. Ito yung mga ova. Okay, then yung mature ova or ovum is released. Ang tawag dyan ay ovulation. Pupunta niyan sa fallopian tube. Alright? Yan, conception or the fertilization of an egg by the sperm normally occurs in the fallopian tube. Yan, kasasabi ko lang kanina. The next step for the fertilized egg is to implant into the wall of the uterus, which is the beginning of the initial stages of pregnancy. So, ibig lang sabihin nito, once fertilization is successful, then yung fertilized egg or zygote is transported into the uterus. Yung fallopian tubes, ciliated yan. No? May mga finger-like projections called cilia that will propel the fertilized egg to the uterus. Then the vagina receives the penis during sexual intercourse. Yan. So nabanggit ko kanina yung environment ng vagina which is acidic. So yung prostate gland produces no, not really the prostate gland, tama. Yan, produces the alkaline fluid na yan that will neutralize the acidity. Alright, and the vagina also serves as the birth canal. What else? The uterus, on the other hand, is the hollow pear-shaped organ that is the home to the developing fetus. Yan, yung bahay bata, no, or fetus. The uterus is divided into two parts. You have the cervix, which is the lower part that opens into the vagina. Alright, and the main body of the uterus is the corpus. What else? And you have the ovaries. The ovaries are oval-shaped glands that are located on either side of the uterus. The ovaries produces eggs and hormones, no? Especially estrogen and androgen. Sa female, estrogen. Okay, the fallopian tubes, these are narrow tubes that are attached to the upper part of the uterus and serve as tunnels for the ova, yung mga egg cells. Okay, to travel from the ovaries to the uterus. Ayan, no? Okay, so again we have here during the sexual act, the sperm cells or semen. The semen contains the sperm cells. They are deposited into the vagina. And since the vagina is acidic, yung secretion ng prostate gland, which is the alkaline fluid, will neutralize the acidity para maging tolerable naman for the sperm. Pero marami ring mamamatay na sperm dyan eh. So yung mga survivors niyan will eventually enter the cervix, then will enter the fallopian tube. Pero mahabang journey ito. No? So kaya kung mapapansin ninyo, yan, ang dami-dami. There are millions of sperm cells that are deposited. Pero marami na rin ang mortality, ang mamamatay dyan, no? Because of the acidity. Yung mga mahihinang sperm cells, hindi na sila mabubuhay dyan. So yung mga malalakas lang, yung those that can tolerate the acidity, no, can survive. Then pagpasok nila sa cervix, mahaba pa yan yung journey. So kung sino yung may baon, yun, nakapagbaon sila ng kanilang nutrients na binigay ng seminal vesicles, sila yung makakaabot na dun sa fallopian tubes. Pero only one sperm cell will fertilize the egg. Okay, so that's the journey of the sperm, no? From the vagina, it goes to the cervix, to the uterus, and to the fallopian tubes. And it takes 10 hours, no? Para makarating yung sperm cell from the vagina to the fallopian tubes. Microscopic yan. So, ilang kilometro yan, no? Pag, if you will consider yung size ng sperm, bali ilang kilometro yan, para ka nang lumangoy from Manila Bay to Hong Kong siguro. Layo, no? Ayan, pero so because of that, many sperm will die during the journey. Only the strongest sperm will survive. So can you imagine that, no? So yung sperm cell na yan na naka-fertilize dun sa egg cell, talagang malupit. Talagang malakas. Ayan, winner siya. Doon sa karera, kung karera yan, winner siya. Kaya lahat tayo winners. Diba? Kung if you will think of it, lahat tayo ay winners. Yung natitirang sperm, yun yung panalo, yun ang malakas eh. Diba? Only one sperm will fertilize the egg. Ayan, kaya winner siya. Ayan, so whenever you feel worthless, remember, you were once the quickest sperm cell. No? Kaya winners tayong lahat. No? Isa lang yung mananalo sa karera. Alright, so basically, ganun lang. No? Yun lang naman siguro yung ano.
The human male reproductive system. Despite having the same main function, the male reproductive system has quite different parts compared to the female. To start with, there are two ovoid testes in male humans. The testes lie in a pair of sacs, which are pouch-like extensions of their skin between the thighs. These are called the scrotal sacs. The development of the sperms requires a temperature around 1 to 8 degrees less than the body temperature. This means around 30 degrees Celsius. This is why the testes lie in the scrotal sacs outside the main body. There is a spermatic cord that contains blood vessels at the upper end of each testes. Leading from the end of the testes is a narrow, much coiled tube, the epididymis. The testes produces sperms. The sperms may then be stored in an inactive form in the epididymis before entering the vas deferens, or sperm duct. The sperm duct from each side passes into the abdominal cavity. It loops over the ureter of that side and finally opens into the urethra. A gland called the seminal vesicle opens into each sperm duct. At the base of the urinary bladder, where the two sperm ducts join the urethra, is the prostate gland. Beneath the prostate gland is the Cowper's gland. The seminal vesicle, the prostate, and the Cowper's gland secrete a slippery fluid that mixes with the sperms called seminal fluid or semen. The semen is an important fluid because it contains nutrients and enzymes which serve to nourish and protect the sperms and activate them so that they begin to swim. The urethra is a tube that passes through the center of the penis to carry the semen to the exterior during ejaculation. The penis is an organ that contains erectile tissue with numerous blood spaces. When stimulated, the blood will fill the spaces and the penis will become erect and hard. Given enough stimulation, ejaculation or the release of the semen can happen. Urine and semen will not pass through the urethra at the same time. This is due to a circular band of involuntary muscle called the internal urethral sphincter at the base of the urinary bladder that blocks urine from coming out or flux of semen from coming in during ejaculation. The human sperm, or spermatozoon, has a head with a diameter of only about 2.5 micrometer. But exactly how small is a 2.5 micrometer? Compare it with the diameter of your hair, which is around 70 micrometer. Get the picture? You can fit 28 of these wiggly cells along the width of just a single hair. Coming towards the composition of the sperm head, it contains a large nucleus that carries a haploid set of chromosomes, little cytoplasm, and an acrosome. The acrosome is a sac containing enzymes. The human sperm also includes a middle piece containing mitochondria to provide energy for the activity of the sperm and, of course, a tail or flagellum to enable the sperm to swim towards the egg. The enzymes can break down part of the egg membranes to let the sperm penetrate during fertilization. Puberty. Puberty is the stage in the development of humans and other mammals when the sex organs mature and produce gametes for the first time. In humans, puberty takes place later in life, as compared to other mammals. Puberty begins at the age of about 12 years for boys. However, there has been a recent increase in hitting puberty at a younger age because of the artificial food given to our kids. Testosterone is the male sex hormone made by the testes that is increased during puberty and is responsible for secondary sex characteristics. How the female reproductive system works. Ever wondered how and where humans are born? There are several complex mechanisms involved in this process. In the previous video, we talked about the male reproductive system. Now, we will talk about the female reproductive system, how the egg is produced, and where it fertilizes. In the female, there are two ovoid-shaped ovaries attached to the dorsal body wall, just below the kidneys. Eggs or ova develop inside the ovaries of the mature female human. Ovaries are also responsible for the production of estrogen and progesterone. It is thought that an overwhelming number of around 6 to 7 million potential cells are already present in a 20-week gestation fetus and then decline to 1 to 2 million at birth. This number continues to decline from 300,000 to 500,000 at puberty to less than 1,000 at an average age of menopause. Usually, only one egg is released every month. The ovaries take turns to release an egg. The egg cells divide through mitosis and then go through meiosis. Most of these cells are arrested at prophase 1 and may remain like this for up to 50 years. The egg is spherical, with a diameter of about 110 to 120 micrometer. Now, compare this with the diameter of the human sperm head, which, as learned in the previous video, is only around 2.5 micrometer. The egg, like the sperm, also has a large nucleus and contains a haploid set of chromosomes. A lot of cytoplasm is present and may contain a small amount of yolk. The egg has a plasma membrane, which, in turn, is surrounded by an outer membrane called vitelline membrane. The ovary releases the ripe eggs or ova into the oviduct at certain times. There are 2 oviducts. Each oviduct, also called the fallopian tube, is a narrow muscular tube. It leads from the ovary to the uterus. The anterior portion of the oviduct has a funnel-shaped opening called infundibulum. Cilia on the inner lining helps move the egg to the uterus. The egg is fertilized in the oviduct. The uterus is another name for the womb. It is where the baby or fetus develops during pregnancy. It is pear-shaped, about 7.5 centimeters long. The uterus has thick muscular walls, which makes it easier to stretch as the baby grows. Its inner lining, the endometrium, is soft and smooth. Part of this lining is shed off every month during menstruation. The endometrium is richly supplied with blood vessels and is the place where the embryo is embedded after fertilization. At the lower narrow end or neck of the uterus is a circular ring of muscle known as the cervix. The outer portion of the uterus is a thin-walled birth canal, or vagina. The opening of the vagina is the vulva. Semen is deposited in the vagina during intercourse.